Hello. This time I'm going to be talking about an old camera. This is another This Old Camera entry. I've done a couple already. And so this one is going to be, it's about a camera that I really like. It's a model I didn't know about from a brand that I was very well familiar with. Now, the surprising thing about it is this brand is very storied, there's some models in its lineup that are very expensive, especially medium format autofocus variants. That would be Contax. And of course, there are some other cameras they make as well. The Contax G2, the Contax T, T2 and T3 are all known as media darlings, so it can be very expensive, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not almost $1,000 for some of them now or more, especially for the medium format models. But I found a model that I really, really like and possibly is one of my favorites because it's a really good bargain. And that is fortunately they wrote it right on the back, it is the Contax 137 MA Quartz. This is a camera that I like a lot. Now, if you're familiar with this camera, you may be asking or curious as to how the skin is in such good condition on this. And that is because this is a replacement one. That was the only real ding. I picked this camera up and I'm wondering sometimes if that's why this camera is so inexpensive. But this camera only cost me, I think, $30, $40, 50 tops. And it was rated as bargain grade, but when I got it, it was in mechanically perfect condition. The only problem was it had a really tattered grip on it. I mean, it was just terrible looking, really faded, falling apart. And after some reading, I found out that's usually a very common issue with this camera and also a lot of these Contax SLRs. But what I also found out is through the internet, and I'll put a blog post link below that'll include a link to a review and also a place where I end up buying skins for this. And the skin for this, got two. Got this one and I got a tan. Now to get a closer look at the camera, first off, let's feature the skin I was telling you about. If we can get that to focus there. If you notice, what I went for was more of a black lizard design. I got a tan skin that they threw in for free on purpose by accident, not sure which. But what I wanted is something a little more original looking, but just a little different. So I went with this lizard print in black that I really like. It's a very good looking skin for this camera. Because other than that, as you can probably tell, this camera's in excellent condition. All the switch gear still feels brand new. And if you're familiar with the Contax G series, you'll see here in the switch gear that this lever mimics that a lot. There is off, on, and then exposure lock is the third click. And you're going to test the battery. You just basically, let me see, turn my glass over here for a moment. Yeah, there we go. To test the battery, just, let me get this to focus, switch it in the other direction. If you get a green light, you're fine. And over here, it has automatic shutter control, which is handy. Great EVF that I like on here. Great selection of lenses, and just like most other Contax cameras, a full lane. This is a Carl Zeiss, my personal favorite, a Carl Zeiss 50 f1.7. And another benefit, this one is more budget friendly than the higher model. I think it's a 1.4, but I picked this up at quite a savings off of that camera, off of that lens, sorry. And this lens is excellent. Again, I'll put a post in there that has sample shots with it, and I really enjoy using this lens with digital as well. It's a very good lens, and like any other Zeiss lens, it holds up really well, even in these times. But that's it. One of the other things, the only thing that's kind of different than usual is the shutter speed control. When you take it out, automatic will be on this side. But again, I have much more detail in the article. I just wanted to basically give you a quick look around the camera itself. Beautiful camera, and the batteries are just bone simple. It just takes no fancy mercury batteries or anything. It's just a 4 AA's that go on the bottom. And again, in my write-up, I compare it when I had a Nikon. And when I had a Nikon FE, I compared it in size because I bought a winder to put on it. and then I just basically compared the size of the two together, and it was really funny how the two compared. Where we have this is an auto wind camera, only option, only downside, yeah, if with electronics go, yeah, you don't have auto wind and all those other things, but I'm not really that concerned about it, mainly because of the cost. And again, this camera has not put a foot wrong since I purchased it, and I really like it. And again, like I said, very good camera, takes great lenses. Oh, another benefit, I may not have, I don't believe I mentioned this already, but if you want to save some money, not only are they third-party lenses, but this takes the same mount as, it has a shared mount with Yashica, so you can pick up very good Yashica lenses. In fact, I had a 135 Yashica lens with this for a while. I just let it go because I don't use it. But that lens was fantastic. I found another lens from a third-party vendor that was a 28 mil. Again, very good lens. But again, I didn't use it, so I tend not to hold on to things. I'll have things, have my fun with it, and then if I find I'm not shooting with it, I will let it go. I'm not trying to basically collect. I'm trying to avoid the Pokemon concept of got 'em catch 'em all. If I don't use it for 6 months, a year, I tend to then, whether it's a lens or whether it's a camera, I will then trade it off. So basically I end up whittled down to cameras that are fun to use and I use often. There are the cold dead hands camera. This one fits into both of those categories where I really like this camera and don't have no desire at all to let it go. And then the third ones are basically where they're worth more to me than they are out there. That would be, I already did a review on it. That's the C35 AF2. Konica is one that falls into that category where that camera gets no great value. I would probably get nothing, almost nothing for it, but I really like the camera, so it makes no sense to sell it. But again, I highly recommend it if you can find one in good condition. Again, I have the link, and I even wrote a blog post on my experience replacing the skin on it. It wasn't hard at all, didn't take much time, and I'm really happy with the result. Excuse me. And like when I fixed the printing on the top of the Nikon FE, I did a post about that at one point. It also makes the camera a little more dear to me because now I had a part, as minor as it is, had nothing to do with mechanical, not like I opened up and fixed a shutter or anything like that, but I did have a part in making this camera my own. And that's it. Again, I'll put the link to my review of this camera down in the description. Thank you. Have a good night.